Hello and welcome. Time to shine. 30 creative challenges coming up. Which animal can change its color to blend into its surroundings? Octopus. Chameleon. Cheetah. The correct answer is chameleon. Here's an interesting fact. Chameleons change color to communicate and camouflage in their environment. Which bird can mimic human speech? Eagle. Parrot. Penguin. The correct answer is parrot. Here's an interesting fact. Parrots have the ability to mimic human speech by imitating sounds. Which animal has the fastest punch in the animal kingdom? Kangaroo. Mantis shrimp. Gorilla. The correct answer is mantis shrimp. Here's an interesting fact. The mantis shrimp has a punch so fast it can break glass and create shockwaves underwater. What is the only mammal that can truly fly? Bat. Flying squirrel. Eagle. The correct answer is bat. Here's an interesting fact. Unlike flying squirrels, bats can actually fly using their wings. Which animal can survive being frozen and come back to life? Frog. Lizard. Tardigrade. The correct answer is tardigrade. Here's an interesting fact. Tardigrades, also known as water bears, can survive extreme conditions including freezing. Which sea creature has 3 hearts? Jellyfish. Octopus. Starfish. The correct answer is octopus. Here's an interesting fact. An octopus has 3 hearts, 2 pump blood to the gills, and 1 pumps it to the rest of the body. Which animal can sleep while standing up? Horse. Bear. Dog. The correct answer is horse. Here's an interesting fact. Horses can lock their legs and sleep standing up to stay alert to predators. Which animal has the strongest bite force? Lion. Crocodile. Wolf. The correct answer is crocodile. Here's an interesting fact. Crocodiles have the strongest bite force of any animal, crushing bones with ease. Which fish can produce electricity? Shark. Electric eel. Tuna. The correct answer is electric eel. Here's an interesting fact. Electric eels generate electric shocks to navigate, communicate, and hunt prey. Which animal can regrow its tail if it is lost? Snake. Lizard. Frog. The correct answer is lizard. Here's an interesting fact. Many lizards can shed and regrow their tails to escape predators. Which insect can lift objects 50 times its own body weight? Butterfly, ant, beetle. The correct answer is ant. Here's an interesting fact. Ants are incredibly strong and can carry objects much heavier than themselves. Which mammal can hold its breath the longest underwater? Whale, sea otter, dolphin. The correct answer is whale. Here's an interesting fact. The Cuvier-beaked whale can hold its breath for over 3 hours underwater. Which bird can sleep while flying? Ostrich, albatross, peacock. The correct answer is albatross. Here's an interesting fact. Albatrosses can sleep in short bursts while gliding over the ocean for long distances. Which animal can walk on water? Lizard, frog, turtle. The correct answer is lizard. Here's an interesting fact. The basilisk lizard, also called the Jesus lizard, can run on water using its speed and special feet. Which animal has the best sense of smell? Dog, shark, elephant. The correct answer is shark. Here's an interesting fact. Sharks can detect a drop of blood in the ocean from miles away. Which animal can see in the dark better than humans? Snake, cat, dolphin. The correct answer is cat. Here's an interesting fact. Cats have special eye adaptations that let them see well in low light. Which animal has the longest tongue compared to its body size? Giraffe, chameleon, anteater. The correct answer is chameleon. Here's an interesting fact. A chameleon's tongue is twice as long as its body and can catch insects at high speed. Which animal can turn its stomach inside out to digest food? Octopus, starfish, turtle. The correct answer is starfish. Here's an interesting fact. Starfish push their stomachs out of their bodies to digest food externally before pulling it back in. Which animal never sleeps? Shark, owl, dolphin. The correct answer is shark. Here's an interesting fact. Some sharks keep moving constantly, which helps them get oxygen without needing sleep. Which animal can live the longest? Elephant, tortoise, whale. The correct answer is tortoise. Here's an interesting fact: giant tortoises can live for over 150 years, making them one of the longest living animals. Which bird has the fastest dive speed? Eagle, falcon, hawk. The correct answer is falcon. Here's an interesting fact: peregrine falcons can dive at speeds over 200 miles per hour when hunting. Which animal can recognize itself in a mirror? Cat, dolphin, snake. The correct answer is dolphin. Here's an interesting fact: dolphins are one of the few animals that can recognize themselves in a mirror, showing high intelligence. Which animal can regrow its entire body if cut into pieces? Jellyfish, earthworm, sea star. The correct answer is sea star. Here's an interesting fact: some sea stars can regenerate their entire body from a single arm. Which animal can hear the highest frequencies? Elephant, bat, whale. The correct answer is bat. Here's an interesting fact: bats use echolocation, sending out high-pitched sounds to find prey in the dark. Which animal has the thickest fur in the animal kingdom? Bear, sea otter, wolf. The correct answer is sea otter. Here's an interesting fact: sea otters have extremely dense fur that keeps them warm in cold water. Which animal can produce light from its body? Firefly, owl, frog. The correct answer is firefly. Here's an interesting fact: fireflies use bioluminescence to produce light and attract mates. Which insect has been around since the time of dinosaurs? Bee, cockroach, butterfly. The correct answer is cockroach. Here's an interesting fact: cockroaches have existed for millions of years, surviving extreme conditions. Which animal has fingerprints almost identical to humans? Gorilla, koala, monkey. The correct answer is koala. Here's an interesting fact: koalas have fingerprints that are nearly indistinguishable from human fingerprints. Which animal can survive without drinking water for its entire life? Camel, kangaroo rat, elephant. The correct answer is kangaroo rat. Here's an interesting fact: kangaroo rats get all the moisture they need from food and never need to drink water. Which animal can squeeze through tiny spaces due to its soft body? Lobster, octopus, Seahorse. The correct answer is octopus. Here's an interesting fact: octopuses have no bones, allowing them to squeeze through very tight spaces. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. Stay tuned for more exciting content, and we'll catch you in the next one.